Hello, guys. I don't know whether you know about this case of Archie, but yeah, basically it's gone backwards and forwards to the courts and stuff. Well, Sky News just had an interesting piece on it, and I just wanted to play you basically um, what the court said um, about. I thought it because I thought that it was interesting that apparently he couldn't be. Basically, they were going to remove life support because they said that he was brain dead, essentially. But then now the court has said that he can't be moved to a hospice because it would create a sustained risk to Archie. Now, obviously, if they're saying that he's brain dead, then obviously what risk is there by moving him? If they've going to remove his life support anyway, you know, then he's going to be dead anyway. So whether they move him and he like dies, or whether they don't move him and he dies, there's no real risk. So I think the court system and the hospital are conspiring to hurt this family more than anything. But I'll play you what has been said. If I can find it.
His case should be reconsidered at the High Court. Well, that judge ruled that doctors could lawfully stop providing life support treatment, saying its continuation would delay the inevitable. After appeals from Archie's parents, the United Nations requested that the 12-year-old was to be kept alive while it considered his case. But the Supreme Court dismissed the family's application to appeal the decision to remove life support, with treatments due to be withdrawn yesterday morning. The family then applied to the European Court of Human Rights to intervene, but it said it would not interfere with previous rulings by national courts. And after making an application to the High Court this morning, the family's application to move Archie to a hospice will be heard this afternoon. Well, Sky's Matthew Thompson sent this report from outside the Royal London Hospital in East London.
Effectively last night, Archie's family conceded that their legal fight to try and prolong his treatment, to continue his treatment, was at an end after court has essentially ruled that continuing the treatment would simply protract and prolong his death, that it wasn't in his best interests to do so. So today, instead, the family have applied to the High Court to have him moved from the Royal London Hospital behind me to a hospice for the final days of his life as his treatment is withdrawn, to give him what his family have called a more peaceful environment. The hospital had intended to withdraw his treatment at 11 o'clock this morning, but they're now not going to make any changes to his treatment, they say, until the legal process plays out. And we heard also earlier from Archie's mum, Holly Dance, in a statement. She said, "I pray that the High Court will do the right thing. If they refuse permission for us to take him to a hospice and for him to receive palliative oxygen, it will simply be inhumane and nothing about Archie's dignity. We will fight to the end," she said, "for Archie's right to live." Now, the hospital itself is opposing this move to a hospice. It says that Archie's condition is unstable, and as such, moving him would create what they've called a substantial risk. And the High Court has to make this decision essentially because it made a ruling in July that said that Archie has to stay here at the Royal London Hospital whilst his treatment is removed. So it's really in the hands of the High Court to decide that.
Matthew Thompson.
See what I mean? Like, it seems like the hospital and the court system is really like hell bent in sticking it to families, like basically saying, we're not gonna do whatever, you know, whatever's necessary. Like, you know, we're gonna basically keep everybody at hospital, no matter whether they live or die. They have to stay at hospital. They can't go to hospices, you know, for their last days. Even though, if you're dying of cancer, right? If you're dying of cancer, right, and you're going to die anyway, right, you're allowed to go to hospice. If you got leukemia, you can go to hospice. Oh, but if you're brain dead and you're going to withdraw from medical treatment for your family to say goodbye, you can't go to hospice. And this is a child we're on about. Like, I think it's really heartless by the court system, right? My faith in the court system over this is at an all-time low. Like, because the court is not being humane whatsoever, and the government aren't doing nothing about it. And the hospital, they're just kind of doing their job. So but I do kind of blame the hospital a bit, because they're basically saying that they're basically fighting in court to keep Archie at the hospital, and not really fighting for the family to take Archie to hospice. Now, me personally, taking Archie to hospice would free up a bed, so surely they should be seeing it from that point of view. But thanks, guys, me rabbiting on this situation. I'll see you in the next one.